Hello. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm starting a timer because these videos get too long and it becomes difficult to upload them. But I'm actually honestly kind of over by your house. I was going to drive and talk, so I won't be staring at the camera a ton, but just kind of talking. Done with my work day. I'm wearing this hat because every other video I look exactly the same, even though I'm still wearing the same work shirt and everything else. But I don't want to drive right in front of your house right now. But I've been waiting for you to get back from Utah because with you guys moving, your mom said, at least it sounds promising, that we will be able to come over and bring Brooks presents and see you guys before you go. Which I have to admit, I believe is the right thing to do. It would be horrible, and I'd be so sad if I couldn't see you guys before you go to a different state, because then seeing you, even if your mom was to be okay with it, would be tough. So, good news is, I see your vehicles. They're right down that way. So you're back, so that's good news. And mostly I just wanted to check because Mom and I are trying to figure out if at some point this week we'll get a phone call last minute saying come over and if you want, and you know, caught off guard a little bit. So, but not a whole lot going on. It's just like 107 degrees outside today, and it's just so warm. So I get home, or it's a Monday right now, and I get home and kind of stay inside because it's so hot for the work day. And even on the weekends, there's only so much that Sarah and I want to do because it's so warm, but it certainly gets boring at the house. So be glad you have a pool, and I hope that in your next home you guys have a pool. So, but sometimes I think a lot about what it is that I want to say when I'm talking to you guys, and I wish I did more videos more often, but it's kind of hard sometimes to sit down. I have a lot going on in my brain, but this is supposed to be my format for diary, so to speak, where I share my feelings. And so if I just spend all my time writing everything down that I want to talk about, then it's like, why aren't I just writing down and writing a diary? So I don't always remember everything I want to talk about, but I can say that, like always, I miss you guys a lot. Sarah and I were talking last night how it's just so crazy. We haven't even physically seen your face, seen you in 7 months, and how crazy that feels. And it's sad. We miss you guys a lot. We miss having you around. And I have to say that, you know, when you lose the opportunity to see your kids, sorry, driving, must be safe. When you lose the opportunity to see someone that you love or care about, and that opportunity is taken away, really sad for people that don't get to say what they want to say, or do what they want to do in regards to another person when they lose them for good, you know, when they pass away or things like that suddenly. That's a sad concept. But when you lose, like I do, the ability to communicate with you and see you and everything, all it does is just completely magnify what a jerk you were, or whether or not you were a good parent, or whether or not you listened well or treated your kids well. And I certainly know I wasn't perfect. I don't think any parent is. And I don't even like using that terminology because I feel like that's like what anybody would say is like, well, I'm not perfect, you know. But, you know, I wish I had reacted better in regards to some occasions when you guys were around. And I'm not talking about anything huge, just day-to-day life, you know, getting upset about homework not being done, or things like that. I wish things would have been better. And but at the same time, I know that I was a loving father and that I loved you guys, and I hope and pray that you know and always knew that I loved you. And it's a real fine line between being a parent and trying to be your best friend, because I don't think, you know, every parent has a different parenting style. Even when you're still in the same home, both parents might have a completely different view of what discipline means or how to treat your kids. And, you know, you might be at your mom's and it might be this perfect world. I mean, it was always conveyed to me that life was perfect over at your mom's house. No one ever gets upset over there, and I know that's not true because I witnessed it myself. I know Sarah had witnessed it, but it just seemed like, what happened to this whole fear campaign of like, Dad's gonna be mad, Dad's gonna be upset? And like, I think I was very loving and very kind to you guys and treated you very well, and I really tried hard to make sure I came back to you at bedtimes or after moments of frustration or sadness if I would have raised my voice or been upset about grades or something you were doing, or if you weren't listening. But I never like tried to be mean. I just, sometimes I think kids ought to listen, they ought to do what they're asked to do and things like that. But maybe if I didn't pay enough attention to your feelings or how stressed you are, then I'm sorry. But I know I loved you. I know I told you often that I loved you, and I do love you still. And I miss you, and obviously I'm going to critique myself and, you know, do a self-analyzation of sorts of how I was and wishing that I would have done something differently or cherish this moment or whatever else. And like, there's people that say like, oh, if I could just have one more day with my father who passed away, or if I could just have one more day with that special someone, and now I don't have that chance. And like, I kind of feel that way, and I hope I get those days in the future. I hope that I get the opportunity again someday to be a part of your life, and that things change, or you get older and you grow up and you recognize what's been going on, and you decide for yourself that you want a relationship with me. I hope I get that chance. I don't see you as gone for good, but I also don't know when the next time I'll really get to spend time with you. I'm very excited to see you guys before you go. I hope your mom follows through on what she said she would do, which was to allow us to come over and see you guys before you go. And I hope that doesn't get messed up. I hope I get to see you before you go. But either way, it's pretty easy for me to just say, if I just had one more time, or if I would have just really embraced this day that you guys were over and we could have done something special or whatever. And, you know, it's not like your mom or I ever wanted to make your life boring. But, you know, sometimes going and doing fancy things and expensive things is difficult. You know, money is tight, finances, all these different things you'll understand as you get older, but maybe you didn't understand as a kid. You know, maybe your mom was able, through different circumstances or the money that she made or the things that were going on, was able to go and do all these things, or you had festivals in other cities and you were able to go and experience things, and that's awesome. I'm glad you got the opportunity to experience those things. But your mom has a very different type of job that allows her to do that. I've got a job with a boss where I need to be right here in Phoenix, Arizona working, and I don't always get time off. And so I think Mom Sarah and I always felt like we wish there was more we were able to do on a more consistent basis. But trying to compare me and what we did when you were around me with what your mom did, it's not really a fair comparison, you know? If you do festivals in California and Utah and Nevada and Kentucky and all these different places, you know, if your mom chooses to take you out of school, or if those things happen during the summertime, then that's awesome. She's going there to work, to get paid. Now, granted, if I was driving my work truck all the way out to check all the fire extinguishers at Disneyland, then you can bet that I would have tried really hard to see if you guys could go with me. The fact is, you guys walking around a gangster, bad part of town apartment complex with me to do fire extinguishers is not really gonna be a good thing. So I guess I just want you guys to know that I love you. I always have.